Well, hello. Welcome to American Reversion. I am Steve Smith. Hope you all are doing well today. I am doing well. I've been out gardening and doing some writing on the new book, and it's just the way that I love to start the day before I come on here and talk with you all. Hope you all had a good weekend. I had a great weekend. I forget everything that we did, but it's just one of those weekends that you dream of. You know, you want every weekend to be like that. Those of you who are with us over on Patreon got to see a picture of my daughter and I at the father-daughter dance, and that was Friday night, and that was just exceptional. We just loved that. And it's kind of all, and some of you also got to see a little bit of my son's hockey practice. You know, that's what America's all about. That's what we talk about. Not all about this whining and crying and singing the blues and burning stuff down, but people involved in the kinds of activities and family that built this country. I'm not going to read the news of the day today. There's just a few things that I wanted to talk about, and I want your all's opinion on this, because I think you all are going to have a lot of interesting and hopefully productive things to say. Now, I'll take the opportunity here, and I'm going to ask you. I think I'm going to save this for the third subject. Has Trump gone nuts? Has he absolutely gone nuts, or has he always been nuts? Some of you will probably say that, or is there a hidden hand in what he's doing that we haven't seen? Let me start off first. This is very interesting things in the Twitterverse. You know, not Twitter. You know. Apparently, I have a Twitter account. I don't know how to get into it. I don't ever use it. How are you doing? Talking to my neighbor across the cul-de-sac. You see, those people who think that those of us who live in the suburbs don't know our neighbors are just totally wrong. I know all of my neighbors, and you know, most of them are nice. And the ones that aren't, I don't talk to. Well, interesting what's going on with Twitter here lately. And that is, if you may have followed along, and this has some impact. I think it has some importance in the political scheme, because we saw in the last presidential election and before that the effect that tweets could have. So Elon Musk, as you probably know, bought a bunch of Twitter stock. And he had been playing around with it. And actually, he bought it before he started making statements, because that's what you do if you're smart, right? He bought a lot. In full disclosure, I own some Twitter stock, not like he does. But when I saw that he was starting to take an interest in this, and I follow, I see what Musk has done with other things, I said, well, if he thinks that that's a good bet, then so do I. So I bought some. Interesting. It's up about $1.30 today per share. I'll get to that in a minute. But what he's done is what's interesting. And he bought a lot so that he owns like 9.2% of Twitter. Well, everybody thought, okay, that he's going to go on the board, and then he'll be able to really have some effect, right? No. It turned out that even when people thought he was going on the board, the board of directors of Twitter, and then he would have a say in how Twitter was doing things. And I think I even made the statement, it'd be interesting now if Trump came in and bought a bunch. When they were going to seat him on the board, he said, no, I don't think I want to be on the board. Well, people were kind of surprised at that. And the reasoning behind that is because when you have a seat on the board, you're very limited is in what you can say about the business. And while you may have one of many votes on the board, it's only one of a number of votes. Very often you can have more impact on an organization from outside than from within. And I think that's what he has done here. He apparently had to sign something, or was going to have to sign something, that that he would not be able to buy more than, I think it was 14.9% total of Twitter stock. His refusal to go on the board, or his turning them down, indicates a couple of things. It indicates that he wants to be able to buy more than 14.9% of Twitter. Not saying he's going to, but by not going on the board, he has stayed and kept himself in a position where he can. It'd be nice if he did. And then also he's able to say pretty much whatever he wants about Twitter, since he's not on the board. And from that, he's going to be able to manipulate. I know we're not supposed to manipulate stocks, but he's going to be able to manipulate the price simply by the things that he says. And those of you who have followed him over the years have seen that he's been able to do that with Tesla and SpaceX and things like this. And he's a master at this. He's a master at working behind the scenes, just with little kind of, little statements that everybody wonders about. What does that mean? What does that mean? I mean, he has pretty much manipulated the stock price of Twitter over the last couple of weeks, just with these little statements that he's made. So he drove it down, and I was wondering, when he made a statement like, is Twitter over? And I thought, what is he doing? Well, of course, the stock price just tanked. I mean, it didn't go to zero, but it lost a bunch. And I thought, what in the world is he doing? He just bought 9.2% of this company. And then it occurred to me, well, he's driving the price down because he wants to buy more, and he wants to buy it at a lower price, right? Makes sense, right? Because he's a smart guy. Okay, that's what's going on with Twitter. Now let's go to another real smart guy who you never can figure out what he's going to do or say next. But there's always a method, it seems, and that is President Trump. Now, at this point, because I know that this is going to get a lot of people wanting to make a comment on this, I think I want to take just a break. By the way, before I do that, I'm going to throw in my own commercial. Just, I got a kick out of, the other day I saw that you were on here on my other channel, Integrative Preparedness. I saw that they threw in a commercial for Stacey Abrams. So just in case they do that here, I'm going to balance that out and say this is brought to you by my book, my first book, The Reversion, after which I named this channel. It's about starting America over after a collapse. In this case, it's an EMP CME, but it's about why America was already in trouble, what happened to our society, and how to survive it and how to rebuild after a collapse. And it's a great story. It's the first of so far 5 volumes of the Stonemont series. I'm working on the 6th one now. And while it's a survival and preparedness oriented book, it talks about the bedrock foundational principles on which our country was based and which we need to get back to. So that's it. Buy it on Amazon, paperback or Kindle. And if you'd like a copy, an autographed copy from me, and that's what I'm going in to do here when I'm done with this, there's some information down here that tells you how to do that. Okay, back to Trump. And I'm going to insert in here, remember when Rush used to have, what did he call those? Caller seminars, something like that? He says to where he'd kind of lay out the ground rules for callers, and he would say, and Rush could do this because, I mean, he was he was an exceptional person. He could say, your most important job is to make me look good. Well, I don't ask for that. I want you to make yourself look good. And so to that end, I'm going to throw out a couple of things here. Now, I'm going to be saying some things that I'm sure people are going to have different opinions on. And I'll be honest. I'll be honest right up front. I don't know which way it's going to go on this. But here's the thing. We have a lot of thoughtful people here. We have a lot of intelligent people here. I've said before that if it doesn't surpass the intelligence of integrated preparedness, it at least rivals it. It's right up there. The intelligence of our commenters here is exceptional. If you're here, you are lucky to be among them. And I'm sure you're going to fit right in. By the way, welcome to all the new people. I forgot to say that. But here's the thing. When you make a comment, don't be negative and don't be rude and don't be insulting and don't call anybody any names, and make your comments thoughtful, because that's what we want to hear. It's not that we don't want to hear your opinion. We do. I do. And I will hear it and I will leave it there if it is thoughtful and it is polite. Okay. But I'll tell you what's not thoughtful is for a person to come on and say, that's stupid, or to say, Trump is controlled opposition, period. No backup, no anything like that, nothing like that. You see, now I'm going to take that off because that's just trash. Okay, that's just idiocy. That's drive-by, taking shot, and there you go, down the road. You don't stick around to defend your position or to explain it or to be involved in any kind of intelligent conversation. You just Trump is an idiot, or the same thing as Trump is the savior. That's really no better. And just say he's controlled opposition. If you don't know that, you don't know what's going on. Okay, that's a stupid remark. And to be honest, I don't want anybody who would leave a remark like that. The remark's going to be taken off, and probably the person is going to be banned, because I just know that I'm going to have to deal with them again if they have displayed the level of their intelligence, and that's not what we're here for. That's not what the rest of us are here for. So now that I've explained that, so if you don't like it, if you think he's controlled opposition, that's fine. Lay it out. Lay out your case intelligently. Okay. So that people can read it, consider it, respond to it, also politely. And that's what the discussion is about. There's no problem with that. Okay, so here's the thing. Trump, who I have to admit I like. I have liked Trump since I read his first book way back in the 80s or something like that. I read his first book, The Art of the Deal. Wasn't that it? And then I've read most of his books since then. I find him to be he's an accomplished person, obviously. He's a smart beyond smart. What did they say in that one movie that I can't stand? He's wicked smart. He is. This guy is, this guy plays 14-dimension chess. And if you really want to know what of a bulldog he is, read the part in his book while he describes what he had to do when he was bankrupt completely. Now, he wasn't personally bankrupt, and that's a charge that a lot of people throw at him. No, he wasn't. And he wasn't. I'm not sure that he was ever took bankruptcy. He was really, really, really down. Everything was down on him, and he pulled it out. So this is a smart guy, and we know that he did a lot that a lot of us were very happy about. You take it back to 3 years ago, whatever. Look at the difference in the economy. Look at the difference in we were energy independent, weren't we? The world was respected us because they were afraid of us. They had come out of a time when Obama was kissing all the world's ass and apologizing for America, and the producers of this country were sick of it. And Obama did more, I think, than any previous president to drive wedges into our country, racial wedges. And class wedges. Of course, he's a big multimillionaire now, right? From being a community organizer to multimillionaire. So we were all happy to have Trump, and there were some things that everybody could find something that they didn't agree with. A lot of people, it was his tweets. He's just mean. I'm not going to vote for him because he's rude and all that. Okay, so you'd rather have what we have now, right? Okay, so it's really time to get off that stick. Well, I'm going to stand for principles. Okay, what principles exactly are you standing for? Because what you got instead was Biden. Are Biden's principles what you stand for? So it's one of those things that, be careful what you wish for. Be careful what you stand for and what you stand against. You can have your principles, but when it comes to politics, if you're waiting for a perfect candidate, you're in for a wait. One of the things that irritated and made most of us, it was just a head slap, was why is he appointing and why is he backing some of the people he's backing? It just didn't make any sense. He kept bringing on people who stabbed him in the back, who obviously had problematic pasts. Everybody knew, it seemed, except him, that these people were not on his team. Matter of fact, some of them had played with the opposition for years, and he kept putting them in positions of authority and power on his team, and he kept getting bit in the butt. Still, he was able to get a lot accomplished. So, the one thing that I have to question is his ability to pick the right people for things. He may be smart, he may be a worker, but man, somebody needs to help him pick better. Well, the thing that he just did blew me away was he just came out in support of Dr. Oz. Dr. Oz. Mehmet, is that his name? Mehmet Oz, the doctor from Oprah? Now, I'm not putting the guy down. Apparently, he's an accomplished physician. I mean, he got his own TV show for a long time, which means squat. It just means that you can appeal to the audience who stays home during the day and watches TV. But unlike Dr. Jill Biden, remember when Whoopi, whatever her name is, I forget what her real name is, Whoopi. Remember when she said, Jill Biden, she's a great doctor. She could be Surgeon General, not even knowing, that idiot didn't even know that Biden was a doctor of education, just like Bill Cosby. But Trump has come out to support Oz. Now, I'm going to post something on the Patreon channel that kind of lays out, and it has video of a lot of things that Oz has said, and it shows what he supports and what he doesn't support. And this guy is a problem. He is no conservative. Okay, and he could be a big problem. He could be one of these guys that if Trump decided to run, and he wins, this guy could stab him in the back, like so many other Trump appointees have. So anyway, so he supports him. Now Oz is running against, in a primary, wherever he's running, I forget, against a guy who is apparently a true conservative. Why would Trump choose to back Oz over this other conservative? And I know, for those of you who remember William F. Buckley, he said, you vote for the most conservative person who can win. So I understand that that's probably going into the calculus that Trump is considering. He says, I think Oz can win because of name recognition, because of this, because of that, because of all sorts of things. But the guy is no conservative. So what's going on there? That's what I am asking you all. What do you think about that? What do you think? Now, I'm going to tag something else on the end here, right before I came out to shoot this. And man, did I mention it's a beautiful day. I happened to see an article. It just pops up. I don't look for this, but it's on my opening screen when I open my laptop, and I just haven't changed it because I got a new laptop. It's a MSN, okay, whatever that stands for. I don't even know what it stands for. And an article with Putin's face, big face. Putin reveals his plan, for America, all this. So they've written this article that says, well, somebody, in the Russian, somebody has come out and said that that the Russia is gearing up to participate and influence the next presidential election and they're talking about it's time to help again our partner Trump. And then they go into this article, about, yes, how they haven't decided exactly how they're going to do it, but they're going to do it, and they're getting ready, and they're going to let the war in Ukraine settle down, and then after our relations have warmed a little bit after that, then they are going to come in and affect our elections. What do you think about that? I'll tell you what I think. I think that MSN, being the mouthpiece of the Democrats, that this is one of the first big shots across the bow, not like Big Shot, he's a big shot, big shots across the bow, of, again, trying to put Trump in the position of, it was the old Russiagate stuff, right? See, we told you, Russians come on and they're trying to help Trump. Yeah, I don't think so. I think, first off, who we really need to be worrying about is China, not Russia. And I think this is opposition to Trump. And that doesn't just mean Democrats. That means, how many never-Trumpers there were on the Rhino side, on the Republican side? Hell, most of them. That guy, that's why I respect the guy so much. He got more done with everybody in the world against him. Most presidents at least have their own party behind him. He didn't. And those people out there like McConnell and the rest of those scum, they ought to be ridden out of town on a rail. They're the problem. The deep state is the problem. The swamp is the problem. Trump's the only one that I think had he exposed a lot. Now, whether that was all by grand design and part of his brilliance, like some letter people will say, or whether that was by mistake, I don't know, and I don't have an opinion on it because I don't know. I tend to think that a lot of it was on purpose because I've watched Trump for years. I know him to be a smart guy. I know that he makes deals. He does things that other people can't figure out because he's after the deal. He's not after each small little win. He's after the big deal that is going to have a lasting effect. I think he's a patriot. I think he's a pro-American candidate. I think he loves America. And that's my opinion. So I'm going to leave that there. I think there's a lot of interesting things going on. And there is too. So I'm going to leave you with that. And I ask for your opinions. I am going to really be looking forward to hearing what you all think about this, what you have to say. So leave your comments down there. Make them as long as you want. Some people have apologized. I'm sorry for such a long comment. No. Put your long comments on. They're fascinating. Say your piece. I don't put any limits on that. Just don't leave any links in there and don't call anybody names and be nice. That's all you've got to do. So I'm going to go sign some books and get them in the mail to some folks. And you all have a good day. And remember that America needs a reversion or something. And whatever it needs you to be a part of it if it's going to happen. So you all have a good day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.